Kind of crazy. And that's why when somebody like Deshaun Watson, despite whatever baggage he may have, once a grand jury decides that there are no criminal charges with that baggage, it's on and cracking. It's on. Mm-hmm. Game's afoot. Yep. Game's afoot. Saints and Panthers want to meet with him, and apparently they already have because he wants to meet with them. And they don't even need to read whatever he's saying in a deposition for 22 civil suits like he's supposed to be doing today. They don't even need to read it. They just like, let's go. We'll deal with the civil as long as there's no criminal. And none of this may be true at all, as I said yesterday. And so you got somebody his age with his reputation prior to all this and his game and his contract saying, I'm out of Houston. And it's on. And apparently the Browns are now in deep. Which means, does that mean Baker Mayfield is on the table to swap? Are the Texans into that idea? Because he's got only, one more year of contractual control. That's it. Can you believe it's been that long since he's been drafted?
We're in Dallas.
So it's on here.
It's on.
And Schefter and Mort report, that rhymes.
Schefter and Mort.
That the Falcons are in too. Meaning somebody will take Matt Ryan and his monster contract as well. Does that make Indianapolis the target there? Because they are staring down the barrel of Sam Ehlinger and James Morgan, the captain, on their roster with 0 career NFL passes. Sitting there as their only quarterbacks going into a draft where they don't have a first-round pick, and their choices are right now Jimmy Garoppolo coming off of shoulder surgery, Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston coming off of knee surgery, Andy Dalton. Or, as Daniel Jeremiah mentioned on yesterday's free agency frenzy that I hosted, it was so frenzied that Daniel mentioned a good possibility for the Colts is to go get Nick Foles playing the Frank Reich greatest hits one more time. That didn't work out with Carson Wentz. Go get Nick Foles sitting there in Chicago. Call polls for Foles, which is not related to Cars for Kids. No, stop, please. Stop it. So that's the Indianapolis Colts scenario right now. And Ryan, we've already been talking about Matt Ryan maybe gone from Atlanta, and the only way you do that is to go get the Texans guy. Once again, proving if you have the guy, you might want to stick with the guy. Certainly if it's cheaper to keep him. Unless things get so bad that you gotta part ways. And the so bad is a big question mark, like Russell Wilson in Seattle and Carson Wentz in Indianapolis. Certainly in a draft where nobody seems to be lighting the fire. Boy, it just seems like in the NFL, you've got the high of the high rent district, right? You got the elite of the elite, and then you've got the teams that are hoping they've got the next elite quarterback. And then you've got this large phantom zone in the middle. This huge phantom zone of possible Super Bowl caliber quarterbacks. And I'll throw Kirk Cousins in there too. I'll throw Kirk Cousins in there. If you surround him, I mean, there's so many ifs and buts, but the ifs and buts turned into candies and nuts for the Rams last year, did it not? With a guy that supposedly couldn't do a damn thing in his career. hitting his head on the Detroit Lions ceiling.
Don't you think Stafford was looked at a little bit different than Cousins? Though?
Well, because one was a first overall pick and another one was the odd choice of mid-round draft choice in the same year that the team chose RG3, moved up to go get him. Yeah, they were born into the league differently, but both have the same question marks of NFC North quarterback that can't win the big one. We heard that about Stafford middle of the season. He couldn't win the big one. And there's a bunch of overpaid quarterbacks that haven't done very much, but they're still good enough. And teams hope that good enough can turn into championship stuff. This is the state of the quarterback world in the NFL right now, and it's weird because there's a lot of fungible parts. And the most amazing thing about it is the quarterback out of everybody that I've just mentioned, from Rodgers to Watson to Wilson to Wentz and Cousins and Ryan. Didn't even mention Derek Carr. Stafford, all of them that I've just mentioned. The one that is the most surefire, Super Bowl, flat out, pedigree, all of it, flat out, 100% makes the team a Super Bowl contender and can actually win it because we've seen him do it with the team, is a 44-year-old guy who spent 5+ weeks in walkabout with his supermodel wife and beautiful family and his great mom and pop living in his old childhood room and just hanging out with Cristiano Ronaldo. And he's just saying, I want back in. And the whole world is like, yeah, you do.
Let's go.
Tom Brady, which is another reason why he can't quit it, because he knows he strolls back in and he's like, love the business that you guys are all conducting. Love the money that you're spreading off the cap and all that business. Love it. I'm back. See you in September. God, the last 72, 90 hours has been insane. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.